Hey everybody, morning Alan, morning George, morning Arturo, Francois, David, Ybar. Good morning everybody. Man, I tell you what, the Don, morning, the lightning yesterday, it went all day long, and got two pieces of equipment: my cable modem and a security gateway, which is a big pain in the butt. Now, before we get started, I'm going to throw a link in the chat. If I can get the right link right here. I'm thinking about releasing something beta. This is a Typeform 1-question survey. If it's something you're interested in, I've been working on something for about a year, well, over a year. And if you're interested in me releasing details to the public, just tell me. If there's popular demand, I'll go live at 1 p.m. Not on YouTube, but the link will be in Discord, and I'll announce whether I do it during Ask the Pros today, which is another show that I'm going to be a guest on today. All right. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Jan. Goose, man. Long time no see. Where have you been? All over the country, I'm sure. Maybe all over the world. Anyway, glad to have everybody. And let's jump into what we all came for, the markets, right? All trading is the leverage button's clicked, I guess. So unclick that one and try that one more time. There we go. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, and fun. Look, if you're not having fun, what's the point of this whole big thing, right? You only get one shot at it, and if you've gone a long time, a number of years without having fun, please reevaluate what you're doing. I do this because I have fun doing it. And nothing I say is a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument or otherwise. And if you desire personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. Has a fiduciary duty to cover you, give you advice based on your situation. Billy, that's what we're here for. We're going to look at, that's usually how I wrap it up. So I usually wrap it up with my outlook. We just kind of hit the highlights, which right now, we got a little lightning on the, just a little bit. It wasn't even much. Just a little bit of lightning on that Tesla and Netflix yesterday. Mark set the tone a little sour. And then when we look at the futures overnight, we are seeing this rally right back up. Nice and strong, my friend. Zoom it up. Look at that. Look at that move. We had pushed below the 30-minute and right back above. Retested and extending. Now we do still have that resistance, the resistance from yesterday, right there. If we get above that, we're going higher. Now you might be like, JT, what do you mean we're going higher? I thought we were going down in a blaze of glory. Well, you gotta watch the overnight action. This is a 618 though. We hold that. This is why it's so key. If we hold this and turn down, look out below. That can be a 1-2. It could be an AB, and we could go down significantly. Now, if we go up on the extensions, 46.22, 46.40, and S&P 4600, basically right there. We may close out the week there. All right, we have a big OPEX hitting this morning. You may be like, no, options expire at the end of the day. Well, futures options don't. All right, and index options don't necessarily. There are morning expiration options that expire in 10 minutes, and you know what? You can't even trade them right now. So you got to know what you're trading, when it expires, and yesterday was the last time you could trade those index options, unless you had some sort of special permissions, which almost knocked that drink off there. You gotta know what you're playing, know the rules. All right. Anyway, if you're unfamiliar, ES is the S&P 500 futures, and why I watch them is because we got all this overnight and interesting overnight action. Whereas if we look at SPX, simply stopped trading at 4 o'clock yesterday, 4 o'clock Eastern time. S5FI, this thing is almost to ludicrous levels. We get above 90, that's ludicrous levels, and the countdown's on. Usually we don't spend more than 8 trading days above 90 before we get a substantial decline. So the countdown is on here. If we break above 90, watch out below. This thing is not going to stay, it's not, like, historically, it is not likely to stay above 90 very long. It's just that indicates the boat tipped. The boat is rolling over, all right? You know, we go down, and it may not be super fast, but we're like, that's the tell. We're going to be overcooked, all right? We can go down and come right back up. That's probably what we'll do, but we don't hang out over 90 very long. You know, look all the way back through here. It just isn't something the market does. Is this time different? Are we going to stay up above 90 forever? Heck no. I mean, come on now. Like, there's no way we stay up there forever. So just keep it in mind. We are overcooked. We are overcooked. Ludicrous speed. Yeah. I just, I've been saying ludicrous for a couple days. I don't know why. Anyway. Yeah, not to be confused with the rapper. That's true, Kimberly. All right. So that's S&P 500. Now, NASDAQ. A little bit of lightning and not nearly as bullish here. We're still below the 30-minute roadmap line. If we find resistance here, watch out. We can turn down and go lower. All right. We bounced. We bounced off, came back for a retest, and that's what happens. All right, this is why I'm always curious. That's why I'm always saying we got to clear the prior high when I'm doing this pattern over and over and over and over and over. You know, during all the shows, when we draw the pattern off of the high to the low, and my phone needs to be muted, and there we go. Why I'm always saying the aggressive entry is when we break above a high right here, and then the conservative entry is when we break above, look at that, that's right where another high was. We break above the 618, and then we have the potential to go out for extensions. But this one came down, made a lower low, couldn't break above that high, and big red candles. Now the pattern is lower and everything's reversed. So we're coming up, we're going to bounce potentially. If we bounce down, the extensions and the support right there at the 618, and the extensions 15,500, 15,400 on the downside. So it works both directions. All right. What is this thing having in a Cuisinart? Anyway, all right. So there you go. That's NASDAQ, and these two are at odds here. S&P above the 30-minute, NQ below the 30-minute. We can see big tech continue to give up money while ES rallies. That would be a quandary, but we can also find resistance here. All right, Russell, a little different path. This one actually kind of bouncing off of the 30-minute. Similar to, but not exactly the same as, the ES, the S&P 500. On a daily chart, this one is pushing resistance here. If we can get above that trend line, now the caution here is we spike above and drop back below. That can lead to a bigger downtrend. But you see, when we came up right here at this fib line, we consolidated for 3 days. Then we came up to this fib line, 3 days of consolidation. Do we break out or do we retrace deeper? That's the question. This one is lagging way behind NQ and ES. Has huge opportunity to catch up. And we're just back to levels before the banking freak out. We haven't even pushed above that level. So Russell has accumulated money, but a lot of those banking things, the KRE still beat down, the FAS still pretty much, trying to recover, but still pretty much beat down. And yet Russell is back to the levels that we saw before that financial meltdown. So where we had some banks liquidate. Now, the banking problems are not all clear. The Fed and everybody wants us to think they are. Yeah, we're doing a great job. We're managing everything. We're keeping everybody safe. Blah, blah, blah. I don't believe it for 30 seconds. I don't believe it for 1 second. So please be careful, all right? We can have more banking freakouts. This is just coming up to the roadmap line. That would be a perfect place to turn down again. All right? Please be careful. Now, this could be a measured bounce type setup, and we could go significantly higher. We could. This is entirely possible. See, we came up right off of there. That could very well lead to higher prices right here in the 50s. That doesn't take us back up to where we were. It just leads to higher prices here. That could be a three-wave corrective, and we could go down again. There's lots of could go downs. Like I would be remiss if I didn't warn you about the downside and just was optimistic and happy and, oh man, gosh, look at all these things that are awesome. Well, that's not the way the market works. So oil is continuing to find resistance at the roadmap line, daily roadmap line. If we can break above these highs right here from just last week, break above that, game on for higher prices. If we make that lower high, similar to what I was talking about on NQ before, and roll over, we can get the extension lower. We are below the roadmap line right now. We have not been trading above it, and this can lead to lower prices. So I'm very cautious. I am optimistic we see a pop, but again, I would be remiss if I did not warn you about the potential downside on this trade. I am long UCO. Gold, I'm long gold. We are above the roadmap line and probably going to retest this little consolidation. We get below this, we're probably going back down for another test of the roadmap line. And that's what that's what I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. All right. Bitcoin continues its consolidation. Has been unable to break below the low from the end of June, unable to break above the high, which is now the 13th of July. And we're sitting on the lows, which is not positive, but we're not breaking below them either, which is not bearish. So if we start pushing down, watch for a spike in reversal. Otherwise, if we get a daily close down here and then drift on down on the weekend, we're probably coming back down to the daily roadmap line right in there. It's just likely what happens. All right. Ethereum still looks bearish, has not really made higher highs at all. Significantly down below. Held the 786 retrace. This can extend down very easily. Very, very easily. And this can be an upside down measured bounce and lead us right down there. DXY, pushing up. I went long FXY yesterday, expecting this to roll back down. Now we may break up through this consolidation level that we've had. We may go bounce off of that. We may push up to the top of it. And there's lots of options, but I'm still expecting lower prices on DXY. All right, let's. I don't think that was the list today. Let's get the list today. Here we go. ISRG. Ouch. The market just opened. Probably coming back to the roadmap line would be my expectation here. It can do an echo of a prior pullback, but I kind of expect it to go down there. So if we start getting a move bigger than one of these, which we're pushing the limits now, probably coming back to here. AXP, that looks likely to retrace further. It's one of those. If it breaks out above 178, we can go up to the extensions. If we break down below, well, we get much below 168, we're going to the roadmap line, and probably this retest that box right there, which may get there quickly. Watch for support there at the roadmap line. We turn up, we could go up again. IPG, ouch. That's below the roadmap line. Be careful. That was it. That was it. Now, see how deep this retraces. We have support levels right in here. I'll put all the negative stuff on first. That way, usually I put the positive stuff on first. I put all the negative stuff on first today, just to change it up. So, OMC, that's getting down to the lows there. We break below that, extension lower. PSQH, that looks like some dangerous shiz right there. I would not touch this with your money. That is going to play out and come right back down more than likely. It is just software. I mean, did they save the new world with their software? I don't know. Just once these things pop, they run their course and usually come right back down. Be careful. All right, WPP. That's another gap down and going down. A trend line. It's going that way. SLB. Gapping down a little bit, but that's highly likely to go 63, 69 on the breakout there. Watch for a break above that high, 57, and that would be the tell if you're not already long. If you're already long, your stop should be way down here and potentially chasing. Golly, my nose itches. Oh. Potentially gonna get that breakout and get the higher targets. KNX, that's a big choppy sideways nasty gnarly thing right there. Trucking. Yellow might go out of business, so that would be a shakeup in the transportation industry. So watch for that. If you're unfamiliar with what's going on, you gotta Google it. I haven't seen it on the mainstream media, but it's entirely possible. Teamsters and Yellow going at it, and Yellow might have to file for bankruptcy. CSX, ouch, right back down to the roadmap line. ALTG, now looking for this to find support there and turn up again, and we can go out for another extension. That'd be 35, basically 35 on the extension. 35 and 35. That's not a big mover, apparently. ALTG, wholesale distributors. This one, run the fibs and right up to resistance. Turn down. That's not bullish. That can lead to a deeper move. Target down here at 11. CVNA. After that ridiculous move, I would expect this to come right back down to 23. I just would. I mean, yeah, it's a short squeeze. It can go ridiculously higher. We could see this go to 300, 400, 500, but eventually it's going to come back down. Can you stay solvent longer than they can be irrational? That's a good question. But right there, that's the resistance. If we stay below that, probably coming back down. They haven't fixed anything. All they did was announce they got financing. And financing for their debt that they already can't afford at rates that I doubt they can pay for because they don't make money. I mean, let's look at this really quickly. Price to sales ratio is 0.5. They make no earnings. They lose money. So it's a dangerous game to play. So what is their debt? ABIT. And yeah, this doesn't look too hot. Debt levels. Look at that. Debt. $9 billion. Are you kidding me right now? That's last year's debt. I mean, I don't care what kind of restructuring you do on $9 billion of debt. Your income's only $9 billion. I mean, that's a zombie company. Probably going to... It's kind of like the Hail Mary that blood bankruptcy Bath and Beyond did. 8 cents. See what they did. Restructured debt. Restructured debt. 8 cents. Out of business. All right. Yeah, bloodbath, bankruptcy, and beyond right there. So be careful. CVNA can go that route also. And holding through bankruptcy proceedings, you may never get paid even if you own the puts. All right? Even if you're legally required to own the puts, you may be in that indefinitely while they sort through lawsuits and all sorts of bankruptcy proceedings. It can take years. And in the end, you may never get paid. So be careful. All right? You know, the safe thing on those type of things is to sell shares, but then how long do you have to hold the trade open before you can use the cash again? ASML coming right down to the roadmap line. Even though we're getting a pop today, that looks like it's coming right back down to the roadmap line. We're almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Getting close. PKX. That's a ridiculous move. And I think I drew that yesterday, maybe on Tuesday. I don't remember. That's back to ludicrous levels. That's watch out for retrace. SMCI, after that hit yesterday, coming back up a little bit. Watch for a little baby measured bounce down. If we can get above and stay above the 318 level, we may go for an extension 338, 352. This one is not that bad on the price to sales compared to NVIDIA. Price to sales ratio 2.6. That's not bad. NVIDIA, like I said before, look at this craziness. Price to sales 45. I mean, that's ridiculous. Anything over 20 is looking to drop. All right. The price is the thing that moves the most. Sales is hard to move. Price is easy to move. Price dropping is what will bring this ratio back below 20. Be careful. That's a 50% haircut, at least, to get it back to under 20. Their sales are not exploding that big. All right. Moving on, moving on, moving on. ALV. Beautiful pop. See how high can she go? Target 102. 108 above that. That's a beautiful pattern. FNGU, watch out below. That was the extension. 618. Roadmap line could be where we're headed. 130, 128, 130. ETSY. Found resistance at the roadmap. That was a pop today, but maybe dropping. I do kind of expect this one to extend lower after the pattern it's had. Tesla, watch out below, baby. Support down here at 220. We've got some levels in between, but 220. Clean this up just a hair. Clean it up just a hair. Yeah, 220. DWAC. This one, seen this before. It's pop before, pop before, pop before. Always comes back. Be careful. This is just like all the other ones. We get the hype train going and comes right back. CMA. SPACs. That's SPACs for you. CMA. It's got a gap fill probably right there. That's going to be resistance. Then it has this big swing right up here above the gap. And It's not a bullish move so far. Just looks like a short squeeze. Be careful. ENPH probably going down to this target down here. How long? I don't know. It's going to take a while. Might be next year. Still expect it to go down here though. Especially if like that's support. It goes test 150 again. It gets below 150, going to 110. Snow. Resistance. It looked like it was going to try to break out. Nope. Right back down. Gets below that roadmap line. Gets below the roadmap line. Deeper retrace. That's the name of the game. Support down here about where the oval is. Just moved over. And that's the list for today. So that's what we got. We got tons of earnings coming up next week. We got the FOMC coming up next week. Calendar. Hit that one more time. Let's go next week. Look, we've got on Monday, flash manufacturing PMI right as the market opens. We've got consumer confidence at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, and the FOMC meeting starting. And then on Wednesday, we get the FOMC statement, Fed funds rate, FOMC conference, and Powell's going to speak at 2:30. And then on Thursday, we've got advanced GDP, unemployment claims. You think that's going to come in negative? I don't think so. They're going to make that the sucker positive. Unemployment claims. Then we have advanced GDP, core durable goods, lots of information, lots of numbers, pending home sales, natural gas. It's a big week of numbers next week. It's a big, be prepared. Like this thing can go down in a blaze of glory, all right? We have PCE, that's Powell's favorite number, coming out after the FOMC next Friday. I mean, next week is going to be a wicked week of numbers, and you need to be careful, all right? We are kind of at the top end of the range. Like I've mentioned several different metrics, and we can go down. How deep can we go down? Let's discuss it briefly before we wrap this up. Support, back at the prior high, back at this area, right there, 4,300. Below that, back here at this consolidation, 4,100. We could stop anywhere in between. And if we really went down and did a 618 retrace, that would be down to 4,034. If we did this. All right. If we get below this orange box right here, we could go lower low. I don't see that high probability right now, but you got to be prepared. All right. Know your levels. Know where you're wrong. Otherwise, it's kind of like, look, where's the potential? 4,600 on the upside. That's major resistance. 4,000 major support. Risk to reward. Not a lot of reward on the upside versus the risk to the downside. Please be careful. All right. Have a great day. I'll be on Ask the Pros here in a little bit. And like I said, if I threw a link into the chat earlier, if you see, I'll throw it in there again. If you want to take that one question survey and let me know if I should release more details on my new beta indicator. I'm collecting a group of people to test it out for me. And if you have interest, fill out the survey. I'll let you know. All right. Bye for now. I'll be on Discord and Ask the Pros. And maybe if there's interest at 1 p.m., I'll share the details on that indicator. So have a great day.